Before the sun even declared its intent for the day, a subtle glow painted the edge of the world. Birds, tiny guardians of dawn, began their earliest songs, serenading the tropical promise of a new day. As the boat edged its way closer, the island's profile emerged, gently sloping beaches meeting dense foliage, and shadows of palms stretching out as if to greet the newcomer. The world was at that fine point of balance, not quite night, not yet day, everything caught in an ethereal glow. The boat's timbers creaked, speaking of countless voyages, countless shores. Rose, her eyes reflecting the growing light, could feel the weight of the day's potential. Luminara Island beckoned with a raw, unspoken magnetism. Each lapping wave bore stories from the deep abyss, tales of ancient mariners and fabled creatures. As she set her foot on the wet sand, the gentle pull of the receding wave seemed reluctant to let go, like the touch of an old friend not ready to part. That sensation, cool and comforting, tethered her to this unfamiliar terrain. Inhaling deeply, Rose was welcomed by an array of scents. The salty breath of the sea merged with the verdant aroma of the jungle, and the intoxicating sweetness of blossoms danced upon the air. Every inhalation was an exploration, every scent a narrative. Walking further along the beach, Rose's steps became a dance with the waves. Each retreat of the sea revealed more treasures, seashells in intricate patterns, stones polished by time, and tiny footprints of creatures that had ventured out in the cloak of night. The beach was not just a stretch of sand, but a canvas of stories laid out for her to read. As the hues in the sky shifted from soft pastels to bolder shades of blue and gold, the sun finally made its grand ascent. Its rays, audacious and warm, began to unravel the mysteries of the island, casting away shadows and infusing life with a golden touch. It painted everything in brilliant detail, the subtle ripples in the water, the wind's delicate artwork on the sand, and the myriad shades of green in the dense thicket beyond. To Rose, this wasn't merely an island. It was a living entity, breathing and pulsing with life. Every rustle in the trees, every chirp and song from the canopy, and even the silent dance of the shadows, seemed to be in synchrony, celebrating the symphony of existence. And as she walked, she became not just an observer, but a part of this harmonious spectacle, a traveler woven into the very fabric of this island tapestry. Behind the initial veil of the beach, the island began to reveal more of its deeper character. Each palm tree stood tall and proud, its fronds etched against the sky, casting sinewy patterns on the sand below. Their trunks, scarred by time and weather, bore the marks of countless tropical storms, and yet, they stood resilient, guardians of this paradise. She found herself entranced by the small details. A lone crab skittered across her path, its movements a jerky ballet of survival, its tracks a temporary artwork on the beach canvas. Farther off, a group of seagulls engaged in their morning rituals, their cries a raucous sound that punctuated the more gentle murmurs of the island. The air grew warmer, and the first beads of sweat formed on Rose's brow. It was a gentle reminder of the tropical sun's strength, even in its morning youth. She wrapped her fingers around a coconut, fallen and forgotten, its husk rough and fibrous, the milk inside promising sweet refreshment. Venturing towards the edge where the sand met the grass, Rose felt a change underfoot. The cool, damp grass tickled her toes, each blade dew-kissed and shimmering. Beyond this verdant carpet lay the beginning of the jungle, a dense maze of greens of every conceivable shade, punctuated by the bright colors of flowers and the darting movements of unseen creatures. Here, the island's soundtrack grew richer. The rustle of leaves whispered secrets of the night just past. Every so often, the vibrant call of a bird would cut through the air, a bold proclamation to herald the day. Butterflies, in their delicate beauty, floated from flower to flower, their wings catching the sunlight in a silent dance of colors. Rose paused for a moment, closing her eyes, letting the sounds, scents, and sensations envelop her. It was as if the island was sharing its heartbeat with her, a steady, ancient rhythm that echoed the timeless dance of life and nature. The sheer depth of this connection made her breath catch in her throat, filling her with an overwhelming sense of gratitude and awe. This was an island of stories, of histories whispered through the wind and etched into the very soil. And as the sun climbed higher, signaling the march of time, Rose felt ready to delve deeper, to uncover more chapters of this enchanting narrative. The sun, now comfortably perched atop the sky, poured its light lavishly upon the island, revealing the labyrinthine pathways of the jungle's interior. The foliage, thick and lush, weaved a tapestry of life, each leaf, each vine holding tales of eons gone by. Somewhere in the distance, water whispered its presence. Drawn to it like a moth to flame, Rose followed the gentle sound. With each step, the cacophony of the jungle grew, chirps, croaks, and the rustling of unseen creatures provided a backdrop to her journey. She felt, rather than saw, the life around her, small critters darting between undergrowth, the occasional curious gaze of a larger animal, its intent hidden in the dappled shadows. Before long, she came upon the source of the gentle murmurs, a secluded waterfall, its waters cascading from an unseen height, splashing into a clear pool below. The droplets caught the midday sun, refracting light into a myriad of rainbows. The air around was cooler, laden with mist, each droplet a tiny prism. Beside the waterfall, the stone path, worn by the tread of time, seemed to invite her further. Ancient trees flanked this pathway, their trunks gnarled and twisted, bark etched with the wisdom of centuries. The stones underfoot, cool and moss-covered, held imprints of leaves and tiny creatures, each mark a fleeting moment captured in time. The path meandered and led her to a hidden cove, where the dense canopy opened up to reveal the sky once again. But this was no ordinary clearing. It was a lagoon, its waters a deep shade of turquoise, so clear that she could see all the way to the sandy bottom. Fish, resplendent in their tropical colors, danced in the waters, their movements a graceful ballet choreographed by nature itself. Drawn to the water's edge, Rose dipped her fingers in, feeling the refreshing coolness, the gentle tug of curious fish, the silky feel of the liquid world. The lagoon whispered secrets of moonlit swims and ancient ceremonies, of times when stars mirrored themselves in its still waters. Time seemed to stretch and lose meaning. The world outside the jungle faded away, and all that remained was this sanctuary of nature and the beauty its life. The very air seemed to hum with vitality, each breath she took a communion with the land. As the sun cast ever-changing patterns through the leaves above, Rose felt a profound sense of belonging. Here, in the heart of the jungle, enveloped by its mysteries and wonders, she was but a thread in the grand tapestry of life, woven seamlessly into its intricate narrative. Amid the verdant grip of the jungle, Rose's senses were heightened, tuning into the myriad of nuances the island presented. Sunlight trickled through the dense canopy above, creating dappled patterns on the forest floor, like nature's own kaleidoscope. The sound of her own heartbeat became one with the pulsing life around her. The lagoon behind her, she ventured deeper into the wilderness, where the trees grew so tall and intertwined that they seemed to be whispering secrets to the heavens. Vines draped elegantly from branch to branch, and the air grew thicker, redolent with the musky scent of damp moss and the sweet perfume of unseen blossoms. The path beneath her feet began to rise gently, hinting at the island's undulating terrain. Soon, she found herself on a hilltop, the canopy parting to reveal a panoramic view of her surroundings. Below, the jungle stretched out, a sea of green, its secrets hidden beneath the foliage. The distant sound of the ocean melded with the closer whispers of the trees, creating a harmony that tugged at her very soul. Here, amidst the birdsong and the gentle sway of the trees, a sense of timelessness prevailed. The ancient land seemed to breathe with her, its rhythms in sync with her own heartbeat. Every rustle of the leaves, every distant animal call was a note in the melody of the island, and Rose felt herself becoming one with the song. With the sun tracing its arc across the sky, shadows began to lengthen, casting the jungle in a soft, golden hue. The air grew cooler, and a gentle breeze began to stir, carrying with it the tantalizing scent of ripe fruits and blossoming flowers. The island was preparing for the evening, and as the sun's rays grew more slanted, the world seemed to slow, basking in the amber glow of the impending dusk. Descending the hill, Rose found a quiet spot nestled amidst the trees, where a bed of soft grass invited her to rest. Here, surrounded by the gentle sounds of the jungle, she took a moment to reflect, to breathe, and to immerse herself fully in the profound serenity the island offered. The weight of exploration and the day's wonders seemed to melt away, leaving her in a state of deep, peaceful introspection. As the sun began its descent, the horizon caught fire, setting the world alight with shades of crimson, amber, and gold. The island, bathed in this ethereal glow, transformed, revealing a softer, more introspective side. Rose found herself drawn back to the coastline, where the ocean's expanse seemed to mirror the heavens above. Each wave, rolling in with grace, shimmered with the reflected colors of the sunset, as though the sea had trapped the very essence of twilight within its depths. The beach, earlier a stretch of golden brilliance, now took on a silvery hue, each grain of sand reflecting the dwindling light, making it seem as if the shore itself was studded with countless tiny stars. The footprints she had left earlier had been gently erased by the sea's tender caress, granting her a canvas reborn, ready to capture the impressions of another day. Palm trees, those sentinels of the beach, swayed gently in the evening breeze. Their silhouettes, stark against the painted sky, created a dance of shadows on the ground. The rustle of their fronds was like a soft lullaby, speaking of tropical nights and whispered secrets carried by the wind. Wandering along the water's edge, Rose felt the coolness of the evening tide wrap around her ankles, its touch soothing and invigorating. With every step, the water would retreat, leaving behind a frothy residue that sparkled in the dimming light, like fleeting memories of moments past. Distantly, the faint glow of bioluminescent creatures began to dot the seascape, their light pulsating, keeping time with the heartbeat of the ocean. It felt as though the boundaries between the land, sea, and sky were blurring, merging into a singular, harmonious entity. Rose then stumbled upon a tide pool, a microcosm of the vast ocean, holding within it a universe of its own. Tiny fish darted about, their scales catching the ambient light, while sea anemones waved their delicate tentacles, swaying to a rhythm only they could hear. Starfish clung to rocks, their texture rough yet strangely comforting to the touch. Sitting beside this miniature world, Rose felt a profound connection to everything around her. The gentle ebb and flow of the water, the distant calls of nocturnal birds preparing to roost, the very grains of sand beneath her, all seemed to resonate with stories, with histories, with dreams. And as the last hues of the sunset gave way to the deep blues and purples of twilight, the first stars began to appear. They twinkled with a mischievous charm, like eyes watching over the world below. The vastness of the cosmos, juxtaposed against the intimate beauty of the island, filled Rose with a sense of wonder. With the night growing deeper, she wrapped her arms around herself, not so much for warmth but for comfort. The world felt at once vast and intimate, and as the opus of waves, wind, and wildlife enveloped her, a serenity settled within her very soul. She was but a fleeting presence on this island, and yet, for this moment, she felt eternally entwined with its spirit. As the canvas of night further unfurled, the moon, in its silvery splendor, began its ascent. It cast a serene glow over the island, transforming the landscape into a dreamscape of soft contrasts and muted tones. The ocean, previously a fiery reflection of the setting sun, now bathed in moonlight, turned into a vast sheet of liquid silver, its waves casting shimmering shadows upon the shore. Rose found herself hypnotized by the dance of light and shadow. The gentle luminance of the moon turned the foam of the waves into lace-like patterns, each ebb and flow weaving intricate designs upon the sands. In the distance, the dark outlines of other islands rested like sleeping giants against the horizon, their mysteries concealed by the night. The nocturnal sounds of the island grew more pronounced. Crickets began their symphonic performance, and every so often, the haunting call of an owl would punctuate the night. The distant rustling of palm leaves combined with these sounds to create a harmony from nature, a lullaby crafted by the very essence of the island. Drawn by an inexplicable pull, Rose wandered toward a grove of trees that stood a short distance away from the beach. Within its shade, fireflies had begun their evening dance. These tiny beacons of light moved in synchrony, creating a mesmerizing display of lights. Their glow was a gentle punctuation in the darkness, each tiny light a beacon of life's enduring persistence. The scent of blooming night flowers wafted in the air, their perfume heady and intoxicating. These elusive blooms, hidden by day, now unveiled themselves, bearing their souls to the moonlight. Rose, captivated, reached out to touch one such blossom, its petals cool and velvety against her skin. Taking a deep breath, she lay down upon the cool sand, the grains molding themselves to her form. Above her, the vast expanse of the star-studded sky seemed almost within reach. Each star, a pinprick of light in the vast cosmic tapestry, told tales of distant worlds and ancient galaxies. In this serene moment, the weight of time felt both infinite and insignificant. Rose's heartbeat, the rhythmic lapping of the waves, the distant calls of nocturnal creatures, all melded into a harmonious dance of existence. Here, under the watchful gaze of the cosmos, she felt a deep connection to the universe and her place within it. The gentle kiss of the night, with its myriad sights, sounds, and sensations, cradled Rose in a blanket of peace. Each breath she took was a whisper of gratitude to the island and its timeless beauty. And as the hours slipped by, the boundaries between dream and reality began to blur, inviting her into a realm of restful slumber. The shadows of the evening deepened, giving way to the full depth of night. Above, the skies unveiled themselves in a cosmic ballet, where stars twinkled, planets shimmered, and distant galaxies painted abstract stories of the universe's mysteries. The vastness of the Milky Way stretched out, a river of stars that seemed almost close enough for Rose to reach out and touch. The beach, which earlier sparkled with the sun's golden brilliance, now took on a muted silver, reflecting the brilliance of the night sky. Each grain of sand, cool and silken to the touch, seemed to hold within it memories of eons past. The whispers of time, echoed through the rhythmic lull of waves, spoke of ancient civilizations, of sailors guided by constellations, and of countless lovers who had once lain under the same celestial dome. Rose, feeling an intimate connection with this tapestry of history, nestled deeper into her chosen spot. The sand cradled her, each grain adjusting and accommodating, molding a perfect imprint of her form, as if the earth itself was holding her in a gentle hug. The blanket she had wrapped around herself shielded her from the gentle chill of the night, its soft fibers feeling like a cocoon of warmth. As the night progressed, the sounds of the island transformed. Earlier calls of birds and distant animal noises gave way to the orchestra of the nocturnal. Crickets started their nightly serenades, frogs joined in with their rhythmic croaks, and the occasional rustle in the bushes hinted at small creatures going about their nightly routines. Each sound was a note in the island's lullaby, urging Rose deeper into a state of relaxation. The ocean, ever the faithful companion, played its part too. The waves, with their ceaseless ebb and flow, whispered tales from the deep. Each splash, each retreat seemed to be in perfect harmony with Rose's breathing, creating an almost hypnotic rhythm. The scent of salt and seaweed, so characteristic of the sea, wafted over her, grounding her senses in the present while her mind began its journey into the realm of dreams. Amidst this beautiful creation, Rose's thoughts began to drift. Memories of her day, of her adventures on the island, mingled with fragments of stories she had read, places she wished to visit, and dreams she had once dreamt. The line between reality and imagination began to blur, creating a tapestry rich in color, sound, and emotion. As the hours waned, the moon, in its luminous splendor, climbed higher, casting a silvery glow that seemed to give life to shadows. The dance of light and darkness, of sounds and silences, continued around Rose, even as she delved deeper into her dream world. And so, under the vast expanse of the night sky, With the universe as her witness, Rose surrendered to the comfort of her dreams, wrapped in the warmth of her blanket, cradled by the sands, and lulled by the masterful sounds of nature. The night, in all its glory, held her, and the dreams, as vivid and vast as the universe itself, painted stories on the canvas of her mind. She was both a dreamer and a part of the dream, floating in the vastness of space and time, under the watchful gaze of a million stars.